What is up, QC? Keep Xeno back with you. And welcome to another Rambling Xeno-Xone podcast. So, just sort of a little update. I'm going to try to get a bunch of these edited this weekend and uploaded. I think I've recorded like 4 episodes, but I don't know if all of the content's going to end up getting used. But just as a sort of update, this is being recorded on the 29th of September. Because I wanted to talk a little bit about spooky season stuff. So, in light of a few recent changes, I think I might, when I do live streams, switch things back over to being more primarily on YouTube. I've become privy to the fact that a lot of stuff at Twitch is changing, and so I will probably more prioritize doing stuff on YouTube, although I do still want to occasionally do stuff on Twitch as well. So that's sort of the first little thing I wanted to address, but that's no big deal. So, right now, my perfect plan was that I wanted to do 31 days of Spooktober, but I don't have the means to do that at the moment. But I've already begun recording spoopy stuff, and I'm going to continue doing spoopy and other stuff for my normal schedule. And I'm going to try to bring back Zelda on Sundays as well, and try to flesh out the schedule. I've got some easy days for me for the next couple of days here at work, so I should be able to make that happen. But well, normally I would want to do a live stream on Halloween, but I'm actually going to be in Disneyland on Halloween. So there's not going to be a Halloween stream most likely. However, there is going to be Halloween Disney content. And Maddie and I were talking about some of the ideas we had for the best ways of recording and keeping abreast of actually documenting our entire trip. Actually going to be bringing a couple of my old phones with me as backup cameras to record some of the stuff that isn't required to be on a GoPro. And Maddie wants to get Ernest, and I'm excited to have her doing that. If there's any usable clips of the stuff that we did the last few nights, or over the last 2 weeks now, scattered nights, Maddie and I have been playing Don't Starve together, and she's become addicted to the game. And I've recorded some of it for shits and giggles, and some of it has like background noise, and some of it I might have to be creative about editing to see if there's any usable clips. I don't know if there will be, but we are trying to figure out, for some reason Discord's messing up on her computer, so we're trying to figure out fixing it up so that we can have her jumping into Discord playing together. And that's something that's exciting and hopefully will happen sooner rather than later. But yeah, so my hope, I'm not going to make any guarantees, and I'll give priority to the spoopy stuff, but my hope is that for each of the 4 days a week, well, 3 of the 4 days a week, because I'm not going to try to do anything on the Zelda stuff. I'm just going to try to do it on the normal days of recordings. We'll have a normal video, which will be the 10 a.m. video, and then the 6 p.m. or whatever I set it to video will be spoopy stuff. So Amnesia is something I recorded this morning. I also do want to get back to Bendy and the Ink Machine, And if I can finish Bendy, then maybe I will install and play through Prey, which is a game I have now. There's also a couple things I'm considering doing for the Patreon, but I'm going to keep that to myself until I actually do them. But I do want to start getting content up on Patreon. So, yeah, there's that. And I'm going to try to do a bit of a backlog of some games. I want to play a little bit of more like Metroid and stuff. And I also want to do some backlogged up of some new Minecraft stuff I've got in the works. And some of the old stuff that I really want to just try to wrap up. However, things are kind of chaotic right now, which is part of the reason why I've been having difficulties recording and editing. For those of you who haven't already figured out from me seeing the videos or what have you, Maddie and I are getting ready to move again, and right now we don't know whether that's going to be a permanent solution thing or a temporary solution thing. So that's kind of putting a wrench in some of my plans. If we end up with a more permanent solution, then I really want to, when Christmas time comes around, do a whole 25 days of Minecraft again. But I'm not counting on it happening that way. But yeah. So that's kind of the deal there. If you guys have any ideas for spoopy games and stuff, especially if they're like tiny games, I'd love to hear them. Especially for ones that are like $5 or less on Steam that I can just run and grab real quick. I've got some ideas. I've got some Portal stuff with Zane that's going on that we recorded a little bit of, and Zane told me while we were recording. In fact, I think it'll be in the episode when it comes out. That basically he picked a long-running series map without realizing it. So it's got like 51 levels. So it will definitely, as he says in the recording, be a lot of content. So I want to get the chance to record with Zane a lot. He's been having a lot of medical difficulty. I want to get to have that quality time with him as much as I can. For those of you who don't know, you probably at least watched the Portal with Zane stuff. He's a good friend of mine from college, so I like to get to hang out with the people I still get time to hang out with. And then there's still some talk in the months to come. Zion and I just moved as well, so trying to find out, working out schedules to match up so that Zion and I can do Halo, which is something that we've been talking about for a little bit, as well as a few other things. But yeah, so there's that. I'm going to try to start getting back to doing the half-hour Kirby streams sometime soon, but right now I can't give any sort of promise on when that will happen. Only that I'm going to try to do it. What other sort of update things can I say? I don't really want to say too much of what my plans are because I've been kicked to the curb half the time since I just started trying to make plans recently for content. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up and then disappoint everyone. I do want to apologize for saying I was going to try to keep up with that schedule and then just fell by the wayside, but a lot of stuff happened, and for those of you who don't already know, I spent a month off of work because I had gotten into an accident. There's a lot of complicated stuff that went with that. But I'll talk about that more elsewhere. And once I can start getting reliable scheduling set up for podcasting with other people, you guys will actually get another real podcast out of me and not just like a rambling. And once I get a regular schedule with people, I want to try to make it so we can have a normal podcast and a premium podcast. So the normal episode that'll go up on YouTube, and then the premium episode, which I'll put up on Patreon, sort of thing. But I'm not going to do that until I work out an actual schedule and we've got the ball rolling a little bit. I think it's too early to put that goal in my way at that stage. But yeah, I've got no idea how long I've been going, and I don't really know if there's anything else to talk about right now. As I said before, there's a lot of short stuff, there's a lot of long stuff. These ramblings don't have a set time limit to them. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, my videos, and everything I do. Don't forget to support the channel and the podcast and everything over on Patreon, patreon.com/GameZoneLP. And yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, the Patreon will serve multiple functions, but one function that I hope it to serve is that it will pay for the server, which right now, honestly, it's not that bad. We may have to upgrade it again though soon if we get too much more complicated with the mods, but right now I pay about $61 a month. Or, not a month, I'm sorry. A quarter, so every 3 months. And that's with our current setup and RAM and everything. If we need to up the RAM again, I think it'll end up being almost 100 every 3 months, which isn't really that bad, because if you think of let's say a $5 Patreon sub, if we got, let me do math here for a second. So say we get up to 100, that means in 3 months we would need 20 patrons. So that would be about 6.5, no, something like that, 6 1/3-ish people per month, which isn't honestly that bad. And I hope to get some content going up there soon, so you guys have a good reason to become patrons, because I would love to continue the server stuff in earnest. And once the Patreon has enough traction, I also want to open a second server, which will be a public server, so that there's one there's one server for the group as a whole to play on privately, and then a public server where members of the group will either be in creative or survival or any of that. That will be up to them. I know I'll probably do a little bit of both, being a server wizard on the one side and being just another player on the other. Also, kind of an announcement that I want to make, I'm working on setting it up this week, is I'm opening a Discord for my follower base. So once I'm ready and happy with how I have it, I will publicly share that link and probably start adding it into the descriptions of my videos. And that will be sort of a place for my community to find stuff out, to communicate with me directly if you so choose. but also to interact with each other. Um, I want to do all the bells and whistles for it. Like I need to get a bot to like welcome people when they join, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to slap that like button. It lets me know that you did. And hopefully, I'm gonna find alternative methods of having the podcast up, places other than YouTube. But I hope you guys enjoy my picture slideshows. I'm sorry that the one episode, I think it was episode 2 of the ramblings, a huge chunk of it just ended up black, and that was an accident. That was because in Vegas, um, if you do certain things, you can like turn down the opacity of a video segment, and I accidentally like did that and didn't realize I did that. I like brushed the touchpad on my laptop or whatever, and it did that. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy some of my picture stuff. A lot of the pictures that I put in the sort of slideshows when I do that are pictures I took myself or that people I know took. So um, yeah, but I will catch you guys later. Don't let the skill machine on them out, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.